Acne. What's up, rebels? My name is Leo. I am one half of Leo and Willy. I was a cis girl. He did testosterone. We are queer. And today, I am here to talk with you guys about the downsides of starting testosterone. Quick disclaimer, this video is in no way intended to be a deterrent from people taking HRT. This is not me in any way talking negatively about HRT or testosterone. At the point of filming this, I am currently approaching 9 months on T, and I've never been happier. I feel at home in my body. I feel at home in myself. My second disclaimer, every single thing that I talk about in this video is going to be influenced by my own personal experience on HRT, as well as the research and information that I had gathered when I started HRT and as I'm still learning and exploring conversation. All bodies are different, and your hormones and your levels can alter how you experience T. All right. So with the disclaimers out of the way, let's get into it. Gay agenda, gay agenda, gay agenda, gay agenda. A lot of the symptoms that I'm going to be talking about in the beginning are things that I mainly experienced in the first few months of my transition. These issues include mood swings, or sleepy, a peak in libido, bottom sensitivity, hot flashes, acne, boys cracks. Alright, so let's get into these in a bit more depth, yeah? Mood swings. So when you are starting HRT, you are effectively starting a second puberty. And what is one thing that everybody knows about every single teenager who's going through puberty? They moody AF. And just like those angsty teenagers, you too will experience the puberty emo. What do I mean by that? I mean, you're gonna have mood swings. Your levels are gonna be out of whack. Think of it as like when you're feeling hormonal, if you have a dip in levels or a peak in levels, you're going to experience a bit of like shock to your system at the very beginning. And that's why I say that this is something that you experience more so in the first couple of months, because your body's still getting used to the tea. You will be okay, I promise. A peak in libido. So, you know the cliche of like, guys being like just ready to go all the time. I'm not saying that that's the truth, but I'm not saying that it's not the truth. This is not a be-all end-all of every human being who takes tea. But I will say, y'all, go on Reddit and just read some testimonials from the boys. Just as the same with the mood swings, it will level out and it will get a much more natural and a bit less annoying and overwhelming. Speaking of overwhelming, let's talk about bottom sensitivity. I remember in the beginning when I first started to experience bottom growth, it was really exciting and very, very affirming, but it was also really sensitive. And there was a lot of times when I felt uncomfortable physically, like in my boxers, or, just a bit too sensitive, you get me? And this would be really frustrating at times, and it can be really annoying. And although sensitivity is inevitably going to be heightened for someone who is post-T, regardless of how long they've been on T versus before they started T, the sensitivity issue does dial down, once again, like these other issues. It became something that I didn't really think about after a few months of getting used to it. Hot flashes. Girl, I cannot tell you. It was so bad. Like, mind you, there was a point where I was experiencing hot flashes, and me and my fiance were in Spain. We were on a holiday, and I'm sitting there in the sun just like, cook me, boil me, just sweating buckets. That was not fun. The hot flashes were a bit annoying, especially because I do live with my partner. We sleep together in the same bed, so we had a bit of issues with like cuddling and physical contact when my body temperature was so high. According to her, it's basically something that made me into a bit of a furnace. And I will say that the hot flashes have definitely gone down significantly since I started T, and now that I'm into the second half of my first year on T, it's gone down significantly. It's very it's really not so much of a thing anymore for me. I don't really experience hot flashes, especially in the way that I used to. However, the next point that I want to talk about is in line with this, and that is general body heat, body temperature, and your sweat amounts. My general body heat has increased compared to what it used to be before I started testosterone. I do sweat more, just in general. I used to feel very like cold to the touch. A lot of times my hands or my feet would tend to get really, really cold pre-testosterone, whereas now I don't really have that issue anymore. If anything, my issue is more so with like being too warm to the touch rather than too cold. Sleepy. Yes. T-boys, we do get sleepy. It's okay. You can have that nap if you want. Go take that nap. Get your favorite pillows, get your cozy blanket, cuddle up on that couch, and get yourself a nap. Because we be sleepy. I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's just like that my body operates a little bit differently in, you know, the energy levels that I use throughout my day and how I burn off energy. But I am tired a lot, y'all. Now, I do tend to be a bit of a night owl, so daytime tends to be a time when I'm just more tired, and that's just me based on my own clock. So that hasn't really got everything to do with tea. There are other influences to that, and that's why I say this is my experience. But I will say, especially in the beginning, and I think that this has to do with the regulation of the hormone levels changing, the adjustment to that, and just what your body needs to do to sort of like get in the program with the hormone changes as they're coming on. I was very, very, very tired a lot of the time, and I wanted to sleep all the time. Willy would always have to be waking me up or like trying to like get me to wake up from a nap, and I'd be like, oh, just 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, 15, please, just a little bit more. Oh, I'm so sleepy. I don't know. I think it was just like, you know how kids sleep a lot and like teenagers sleep a lot when they're going through like developmental changes? I think it was kind of that. I think it had to do with just like your body's developing a lot of things very quickly because, again, hormone therapy is something where you experience the male puberty if you're on T, but at a much heightened or a much more fast-paced timeline. So where a lot of guys will experience a set of changes over the first year that they start testosterone, those changes tend to be things that cis men will experience within their first few years of puberty. It tends to be much more sprawled out, much more stretched out, particularly with things like voice drops and facial hair, but those things just tend to be much more quicker to come for trans guys because of the way that they are introducing T into our bodies. Acne. This is something that really depends on your skin type, the amount of oil that your body is naturally going to produce and excrete onto your skin. So it's very different for each individual. But in general, you will likely experience an uptick in the amount of acne that you see on your face or on your body. Me personally, I experience a lot more acne on my face as well as on my shoulders and a bit on my back. It's not anything that's to a crazy level for myself. It's not something that I've had to like see a dermatologist or any professionals about. I don't need to use any like excessive creams or treatments to combat this issue. However, I do know that there are many trans guys who have had that experience and who do have to find new formulated ways to take care of their skin after starting T. If you are experiencing painful acne or cystic acne, anything like that, it is good to speak with a professional. Go see a GP or your general provider wherever you are in the world, or go see maybe a dermatologist to specifically talk about your issues with your skin and see what they can do for you. All right, and the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the one that most people know about when they hear about T, and that is the voice drop. Drop the bass. I don't know either, guys. I don't know. Don't ask me questions. I don't know. Typically, when you start testosterone, just as when cis guys start puberty, the increase of testosterone will change your voice. Not every single person does, but many people do also grow a bit of an Adam's apple. You can kind of see mine as I talk. It's not a super, super large one, but it is noticeable, and it's definitely not something that was there pre-T. As your voice drops, you may experience a number of issues or just a bit of irritations that come with that. These include things like voice cracks, sore throat, losing your voice or straining sometimes to get sound to come out of your voice, struggles with singing or projecting your voice. As your voice drops, there will of course be an adjustment period. Just in the same way that growing pains come when your limbs grow, you're going to experience some growing pains or some growing quirks when your voice also changes. The best way to adjust to your new vocal range as it comes in is to try your best to practice using your voice, to engage in vocal training or just vocal practices that you can do even just in the comfort of your own home. This is good, especially if you are someone who is worried about losing your ability to sing. I know many people do enjoy singing, whether that is recreationally, just casually, or if it's at some higher level. Maybe you like to make videos on YouTube, or you like to perform and sing. Starting testosterone can bring on unique worries for people who are particularly concerned about the voice drop and what that might do to their voice. The best advice that I can give to you is just to be kind to yourself, be patient, work through the voice cracks, the awkward stages, just work through it because it will get better. I am currently 8 months on T and I'm still experiencing voice cracks and voice drops. My voice is still getting lower well into the second half of my first year on T. So please don't stress out and don't get too hard on yourself when it comes to your voice dropping and your voice kind of having to adjust and you needing to relearn how to use it to your best ability. It's completely normal. You will be okay and it'll get much easier, I promise you. Alright guys, so that is everything that I have for you today. If you're struggling with some of these things, if you're worried about some of these issues, I hope that it's given you a bit more security, a bit more comfort, or just made you feel a bit more prepared. One last time, I want to just reiterate that every single body is different. Every person may experience these changes in a different way, and I'm not going to be able to sit here and tell you exactly what you're going to experience. If you are struggling with any of these things, please know that it's going to be okay. You're not alone. There are many people on forums like Reddit that may give you a bit of solace and a bit of comfort in solidarity. Many people share their experiences online on these forums, and it would be potentially really beneficial for you if you want to seek out that information and just see maybe how other people deal with these issues. At the end of the day, just know that you are amazing, you are doing great, and if you're struggling with some of these things, you're gonna be okay. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope that this helped. If you have any other questions, if you have anything else that you want me to discuss, please do leave some comments down below. Have a great day, you guys. Be kind, eat fruits, drink water, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Mwah.